Hey there everybody, I'm Claire. I hope you are having a great day. It is a beautiful morning and I am running about an hour late, which is the norm for me. This morning though, it was not intentional. I truly slept through my alarm. I wanted to just put together a little video for you as an intro, sneak peek into what's coming up. I'll be doing a real introduction for you when we start this thing next week, but thought you might be interested. Those of you that have jumped on early, and I truly appreciate you following me and being part of this project. If you haven't already, I would ask you to please give me a like, a follow, and most importantly, please give me a subscribe on YouTube. Should be pretty simple. There is no cost. You just hit that little button and that will help me find a bit more success in this project over the summer. So I'm on my way to the last day of classes at Coastal Carolina University. This is the most stressful time of the year. It's so overwhelming, and every student wants help, every student wants to meet, every student has an issue, and with 300 of them, it really starts to add up. Then add to the fact it's the end of school year for my kids too, and our new kiosk for Cherry Grove Beach Services are opening this weekend, so my husband is just slammed with stuff to do as well. Love him to death, but he is the biggest procrastinator. So what are we going to be talking about? What is this whole thing going to be about? It's going to be about my life and some challenges that I face, and the biggest challenge that I'm trying to address with this project and over the summer is slowing down. I have a bad habit of over scheduling, over packing, and my little body isn't doing so well. I've got some pretty extreme health issues, and the only way I'm gonna really get better is to balance, relax, and slow things down. So, what does my life look like on a day-to-day basis? You know, I got 4 kiddos, 2 that I birthed, 2 that I'm married into. I've got a senior going off to college. We own a small business that does beach chair and umbrella rentals. And I also own a consulting agency, and I'm a full-time professor at Coastal Carolina University. Right now I'm sitting at the intersection of 31 and 22, and that is why my head is going back and forth, because it is very hard to turn here. Here we go. All right, now back on the road and headed to school. My life tends to have some really funny stories, and they make people laugh. And for years, and well, I guess most of my life, I assumed that this crazy life I live is normal. Apparently it's not. You know, everybody's got stuff. If they say they don't have stuff, they're lying. But it just seems to be a little different in our world. A couple, you know, funny things. We have quite a few animals in our home. We have 2 dogs, Boone and Dixie. Boone's in the back seat right now. He's my service dog. And then we have 2 cats. One of our cats, though, is very disabled. He has no teeth and no tail, and his name is Jimmy, and I'll give you that story a little later. You know, a home full of teenagers. We're constantly getting into something, whether it be a driving issue, a ticket, or, you know, getting arrested for trespassing. My youngest son and I both have pretty severe immune issues, and that can make things pretty interesting. My house seems to be falling apart. Not quite sure how we bought the house in Horry County that had every issue you could imagine. I have a really funny mom and dad, and a really funny sister and brother, and love my family, but their lives are pretty similar to mine. It's just always something. So maybe it really is everybody, and maybe this little journey will help you learn something yourself. We're going to try to get some things off the list, and the list has already grown, so sorry about that. I'll be adding as we go. We're going to talk about like reorganizing the list, putting some priorities on things. But we knocked out one yesterday. My closet fell apart. It's been on the list for a while. Man, I thought a freaking tree hit the house. Wasn't what happened. It was all of the racks on the closet falling off the wall. Of course, that happened right in the midst of, you remember that procrastinator? He's who I would want to fix the closet. He has 10 million things scheduled this week because he's trying to get these kiosks open for our first day of sales on Saturday. So, of course, he's like, I'm not going to have time to do it. And of course, I'm like, well, we have to be at MUSC yesterday, and I don't feel like I can drive myself. I'm in the midst of a huge flare, and driving more than, say, an hour is not necessarily the safest thing for me. So he sucked it up. He took me to MUSC, and then we came home and we dealt with the mess. But I'm probably going to have extra pain this week because of all the things going on. Gosh, what else is going on this week? Monday I had school. Monday night I dealt with student emails till about 10 o'clock. And then yesterday we drove to MUSC early in the morning, and my flare was so bad I had to take a lot of medication. So here comes the funny story. I was a bit in La La Land, kind of stumbling around, not to mention with all my joint pain, I was struggling to walk. And we get to Charleston, and the office where I'm going to have this ultrasound of my hands is located in the Citadel Mall. Well, if you've never been to West Ashley in Charleston and the Citadel Mall, you're missing out on an experience. You know, malls are dying, and I guess that's why MUSC is there. But my husband has an obsession with a mall. He loves the mall. I was never a mall rat, but apparently that's what he did growing up. When he first met me, he was like, hey, let's go to the mall. I had never been to the Myrtle Beach Mall. What he loves even more than the mall? A food court. This man loves food. He is a big man. Derek's about 6'3" and, I don't know, 280. And he loves food. He was a soldier and will pretty much eat anything. But he loves some food court. So, we go to MUSC, we get the ultrasound, that goes really well, and I'm starving. Remember, I'm on a lot of drugs at this point. And of course, I said, do you think we could get some food? Derek's response, hey, we're at a mall. We can go to the food court. And I'm like, okay, this mall seems weird, so let's see what's going on. We walk out of the MUSC section, find the entrance to the mall, and we go in. First thing I see is this sign that says, Best Mall in Charleston, Citadel Mall. The funny thing is, the sign is so faded and peeling, you can barely read it. That was not a good introduction. So we walk into the mall, and there is a huge Planet Fitness on the right side. Again, kind of strange. Mall, MUSC clinics, and a Planet Fitness. I look to the left, every store, like 6 stores in a row, they're all closed and dark. We keep walking, and Derek's like, let's find the sign, because I'm sure the food court is amazing. So we find the sign map, but the map doesn't tell you where you are. And because every store around us is closed, you can't find yourself on the map. So Derek's response, oh, it can't be far. Let's just walk around the corner. Remember, I'm on a lot of drugs and I can barely walk. okay, he loves the food court that much. I look to the right, and I guess there used to be like a big department store or something down on that end. Of course, not there anymore. But there is like this abandoned like play area, like for toddlers, that's like covered in plush and stuff. And there's one random woman just sitting in there by herself. And I'm like, okay, this is a strange place. Then I start seeing the walkers. I am talking about walkers of every type of person, every race, every gender, every age, every disability. And they're all walking. And I cannot walk. The walkers do not like me in their way. So Derek slows down and is helping me avoid getting tackled by a walker. And we keep moving. And there's more darkness. And there's more closures. There would be a random store here and there that had, I don't know, 10 items in it. Totally weird. And nothing else really going on. There was a Belk and a Dillard's. But given the state of the mall, I did not think it was worth going in there. But because we found the Belk, guess what we found? The food court. In the midst of a desolate, empty, dark, scary, like, I mean, I'm not joking. This looked like a horror movie. Like, I was just waiting on, it looks like a perfect scene for a horror movie, abandoned mall. There is, in the midst, an oasis of the food court. There's a Chick-fil-A, Chinese, Japanese, this weird like pie place, a couple other randoms, and a Charlie cheesesteak. Derek, being Derek, I'm getting the Chinese. I mean, would you eat Chinese food that had been sitting in an abandoned mall for God knows how long? My husband would, and he was very excited about it. So he goes to Chinese, I go to the cheesesteak place, and I try to order my food. But remember, I am not my normal self. I ordered the cheese. I ordered like a chicken cheese, and the lady didn't speak very good English. And I'm not making fun of people, but I'm just telling you the funny story. She was working very hard, but the way she took my order was, I said cheesesteak. She said, fries? I said, yeah. She said, tomatoes? I said, no. Mayonnaise? Yes. Onions? Yes. Mushrooms? Yes. Peppers? No. So we went through every single thing like that. But we got the order in. Then she says, drink? I said, yeah. Lemonade. You have lemonade. I said, no. Sweet tea? No. I'll have a Coke. Coke? Dr. Pepper. I said, okay, Dr. Pepper. So we get the order done, and I go to do my card, and she leans over the little card reader and points and says, you tip. Well, at that point, I'm like, yeah, I better tip. She's scaring me. And she watched to see what I pushed. She said, maybe more? You tip. So I tipped her 10%. I still don't understand this tipping at like fast food restaurants. I mean, maybe if they went like above and beyond. And maybe she was, because she asked me all the different ingredients. I don't know. So we did it, gave her the tip. I waited 20 minutes for my food. By that point, Derek's done eating. And I'm looking around, there's the walkers, and there's all these people eating in the food court of this abandoned mall, so I guess that's what keeps it open. And Derek says, so I think I'm gonna go get the car and try to find the entrance, which was very sweet. So he was trying to avoid me having to walk. But he leaves me in the abandoned mall alone. And I was scared. And my food was so gross. I mean, it just wasn't cheesesteak Charlie's. So I ate a little bit of it, and then I'm just sitting there in the mall alone, looking around at this sketchy, weird place. And he texts me and says he's outside, and I get to the car and we go. So I guess that wasn't like the funniest story, but it was pretty funny when it happened. And he was like, that was awesome, because he just loves the freaking mall and loves the food court even more. So we head home, and I work on responding to students, grades, emailing, all that great stuff. students keep emailing and saying, I haven't seen any grades put in the past 2 weeks. And I'm like, well, maybe if y'all would stop emailing me, I could get some grades done. But, you know, in a nutshell, that's just a quick pick to who I am, what's going on, what we're going to be doing. I'm going to show you a lot of these exciting adventures as we go. And I hope that you get a laugh, and I hope that you find some perspective. Tonight, after school, I've got senior night for soccer, which my son can't play in because he broke his tooth, and that's just a whole other thing. And I made these buttons. Oh, I'll show them to you this evening. And yeah, so we have senior night tonight, and then tomorrow I've got like an all-day staff meeting, and then Friday we're gonna get everything finalized for these kiosks. But you know, like I said, I probably won't be moving by Friday, but you're gonna learn a lot. We're gonna have fun. I hope that you find this interesting. And like I said, give me a like, give me a follow, please subscribe on YouTube, and tell your friends. It's gonna be pretty cool. Have a good one. Bye bye.